It's May 25th, 2026, and I'm Patrick in Vancouver. A new week and plenty happening with Tesla. Tesla's rebrand of FSD to assisted driving in China shows how local regulators are forcing clearer limits on autonomy claims. Tesla changed the name of its full self-driving software to Tesla Assisted Driving for the China market. The move aligns the product label with stricter local rules that treat higher levels of automation as advanced driver assistance rather than autonomous operation. It affects how the feature is marketed and what drivers are told to expect during use. The change comes as Tesla continues to expand supervised FSD capabilities in the country. Regulators in other markets may watch whether similar naming adjustments follow. Taking a step back from today's headlines, the shift in how Tesla labels its driver assistance software in China challenges the assumption that a single global autonomy narrative can travel unchanged across markets. Regulators there now require wording that keeps the driver firmly in the loop, even as the underlying code improves. The data point that matters is the explicit separation between marketing language and technical capability. Where earlier versions used full self-driving, the new label stresses assistance only. This forces the same neural net stack to operate under tighter consumer expectations and legal exposure, without any change to the actual miles of training data behind it. Tesla's vertical integration gives it a direct path to adjust both the user interface and the regulatory filing in one cycle. That structure lets the company test whether clearer labeling reduces intervention rates or simply changes how drivers allocate attention, something competitors without end-to-end control over software and vehicle hardware cannot match as quickly. The driver who completed a record U.S. coast-to-coast FSD supervised trip has started a similar run across Canada. The journey tests how the system handles varying road conditions, signage, and weather between provinces. It also checks performance on routes with fewer mapped updates than major U.S. corridors. Success would extend the documented range of supervised long-distance travel. The next data point will be completion time and any interventions required. Owners have shared UI mockups to address cases where FSD supervised the struggles to select or execute a final parking spot. Tesla is expected to favor a simpler preference setting approach over complex on-screen choices. The issue arises most often in lots with multiple open spaces or unclear markings. A fix would reduce the number of times drivers must take over at the end of a trip. The next software update will show whether the company adopts any of the community suggestions. Recent FSD supervised clips show the car reducing speed and merging into regular traffic when a police vehicle is visible in the median. The behavior matches common driver habits around law enforcement. It emerged from training data rather than an explicit rule change. The update demonstrates how the system continues to absorb subtle road etiquette. Further clips will reveal whether the response stays consistent across regions. Aftermarket kits allow Cybertruck buyers to add off-road equipment that brings the total added cost to $18,000. The packages include upgraded suspension, auxiliary lighting, and storage solutions designed for extended remote travel. They target owners who want more capability than the standard truck provides out of the box. Demand for these conversions will test how many buyers treat the vehicle as a base for customization. Sales figures from the suppliers will give an early read on uptake. A stripped Tesla chassis was turned into a functional go-kart using the original battery and motors. The build keeps the electric powertrain while removing all bodywork and interior components. It demonstrates how accessible the core hardware remains for custom projects even after major disassembly. The finished cart was tested on a small track to verify drivability. Similar projects may increase if more wrecked or donor Teslas become available. A simple hardware adjustment was posted that removes common calibration steps during Starlink installation. The breakdown shows how the change could speed up field deployments for new terminals. Owners following the steps reported faster setup times without extra tools. Tesla shared a direct link to schedule a no-obligation drive. The post keeps the focus on letting potential buyers experience the cars firsthand. It arrives as more competitors launch new models in the same segments. Test mules of Lucid's upcoming lower-priced SUV were photographed beside a Model Y. The sighting confirms development continues on a vehicle aimed at a wider buyer group. Size comparisons suggest it will compete directly in the popular crossover segment. The name change reflects tighter Chinese rules on what can be marketed as autonomous driving. It limits how Tesla can describe the system's capabilities to local buyers. The company will need to maintain the same supervised safety case while meeting clearer labeling requirements. Future software releases will show whether the adjusted branding affects uptake or driver expectations. Before we go, keep an eye on completion time and interventions from the ongoing Canada coast-to-coast FSD supervised attempt. That's your Tesla news for today. TSLA closed at $426.01, up $8.16, 2%. If you found this useful, a rating or review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify really helps new listeners find the show. You can also find us on X at Tesla Shorts Time. I'm Patrick in Vancouver. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you tomorrow. This episode used AI voice synthesis of my voice. Editorial selection and analysis are my own.